Good morning and welcome to Essex Walking Britain. My name's Owen and today we're going to be walking the Nar Valley. So I'm here today in the little Norfolk village of Marham, and this is the starting point for our walk. Our next stop is going to be at Narborough, which is on the River Nar. So we're going to be following the River Nar up there, and hopefully we can get a spot of lunch up there as well. Now, Marham is actually a very old settlement. It lies on a junction of Roman roads that goes up to Ermine Street, which actually goes from London up through Peterborough, up to Lincolnshire, and then up to York as well. So it has quite a lot of historical significance, and there have been some Anglo-Saxon archaeological finds here. Now, one of the quite important sites here, just opposite the church, is the old abbey, and it was actually formed in 1252. That's quite old. Now, there was actually a castle just to the southwest of it, but it was illegally built. And now it's just a pile of ruins in the field. It's quite interesting to see, as you can hopefully see from that video. Now, we can't come to Marham without talking about RAF Marham. That would be a little bit cheeky. So RAF Marham is famous for actually being a Second World War station that was partnered with another one that we'll talk about in a bit. But it actually launched mosquitoes back in the Second World War. It had victors that were stationed here and Canberras who were stationed here. Now, the victors specifically were quite famous because they helped launch on the Black Buck raid down to the Falklands, where they supported the Avro Vulcan on its bombing raid. Then, more recently, it was home to the Tornado Force, which was recently disbanded and replaced with the F-35 Lightning Force. So, we're going to head on. Hopefully, you'll be able to get some nice views on the way in as we go along the River Nar. It's quite a circular walk. I'm just about to show you in a little map of our walk today, but it's quite a nice circular walk. It's deceptively large, but we do have a little crossroad in it, which hopefully you'll see coming up on the way to Narborough. Anyway, I won't spoil it too much. We'll leave a bit of the excitement for the walk itself, but we've got a lot to see, a lot to talk about, so let's go on with the walk.
Today's walk is a 24.5 kilometre walk through the Nar Valley, and it's easy for people of all abilities. The first leg, to the crossroads, picks up the Nar Valley Way, and it's 4 kilometres in distance. The second leg, out to Narborough, is 3 kilometres in distance. The third leg, back to the crossroads, picks up the Nar Valley Way again, and that's 2.5 kilometres in distance. The fourth leg, up to Pentney, is 4 kilometres in distance. The fifth leg, up to West Bilney Wood, is 5 kilometres in distance. The seventh leg, down to Pentney Abbey, picks up the Nar Valley Way again, and that's 3.5 kilometres in distance. And then the final leg goes all the way back to Marham, and that's 2.5 kilometres in distance.
So guys, that was quite a long walk, wasn't it? I'm now at a little village called Narborough, and I've actually just been through to Narborough Hall. Now, I met the man who owns the estate, and he was very busy working in his garden, and I didn't really want to disturb him. But I did a little bit of research online, and it turns out there's actually another Narborough in the UK and another Narborough Hall. So I went up to him and I spoke to him and I said, can I have a look around? I understand this place is like a gift shop. And I'd completely gotten the wrong Narborough Hall. So anyway, I apologise to the man. It was his sort of private home. But he was kind enough to let me have a little walk around the grounds and have a look at the little Iron Age settlement and fort that was there. So had a little wander around and saw the fort, and to be fair, it was quite impressive. It was in very, very good condition, and I imagine that's because it's on a private residence, so you know, it wouldn't really get spoiled or bothered, so it's sort of preserved that way, I guess. But the man was very, very kind, and just out of respect to him, I didn't film any of his home or anything like that. But yeah, nice little adventure that. It's a little bit windy, so I'm trying to sort of make sure that it's as easy for you people watching to listen to what I'm saying. I apologise if you can't. But Narborough itself actually means the river through a narrow place. And obviously the river that we're walking along now is the River Nar, and that's where it gets its name from. Now, there used to actually be another RAF station in the area, and it was called RAF Narborough. Now, it didn't survive the First World War. It made its way all the way up to Armistice, and then it was deemed that it was no longer necessary, and it was closed. But it was actually only a mile and a half from RAF Marham. So these two stations were very close to each other. Now, you have to imagine at the time, Marham was much, much smaller than it is today. So much so to the extent that Narborough was actually the largest station of its time. Now, I've been to Stow Maries in Essex, and I suspect it would be quite similar to that. But Stow Maries is fantastic. It's all perfectly preserved, and you can have a look around it, and they do little fly-ins with old First World War aircraft there. Sorry, the wind is quite loud. Get a little bit of cover here, hopefully, from these trees. But I'm actually hoping at some point to go down there and do a little walk around Stow Maries and show you all that's down there, because it's quite impressive, really. But yeah, RAF Narborough. I went and had a look in the little church here, and there was a lovely little memorial for it. It was interesting seeing the ranks being all Royal Flying Corps, and there's actually a nice little story about it. At the end of the First World War on Armistice, the pilots from Marham flew over with bags of flour, and to celebrate, they actually dropped 2 bags of flour onto Marham, dropping it everywhere. Made an awful mess. Funny little practical joke. So Narborough turned around and said, "Do you know what? We're going to retaliate." And they actually did. They went back with some bags of soot and bombed Marham with the bags of soot. Funny little story that. So, after such a long and horrible war, it must have been just quite nice to be able to celebrate and have a little bit of banter. Wow, I've just come across, this is a complete surprise to me, I've come across an old mill. So it looks like there's some milling stones over there, a nice big wheel and a bench. Fantastic. Could have sat there and done this. Never mind. Suppose we can take a little seat for a minute or two. Anyway, that's not the only history of Narborough. I'll just show you it here, look. It's amazing. That's not the only history of Narborough anyway. There was a... oh, blimey, that's a bit... oh, thought I was going to fall through that for a minute there. There's a little bit more history. The railway, which is actually slightly further back that way, I went for it earlier, is part of the old Narborough line that went from King's Lynn all of the way down to Swaffham. Now, it was closed down in the beaching cuts, something that we've talked quite a lot about in our other videos. The Colne Estuary one is quite a good one, where we did a section along the old Brightlingsea branch line. Yeah, we walked under the old railway bridge back there, and then slightly north of that, if you follow the line up, the old railway line, there's an old station for Narborough, and it's actually been converted into someone's private home, but the platform's still there, it's all preserved, and also the little roof that was over the top of the platform to stop all the passengers from getting wet, that's all still there, perfectly preserved as well. Anyway, I've had a little bite to eat. If only I'd known this place was up ahead, that would have been pretty cool. I'm gonna head on, maybe even find out a little bit about this this mill which I've just stumbled across. Our next stop is Pentney, which is slightly west, slightly north. We'll head back to the crossroads which we came across earlier, head north from there. But that's it from me for now. I'll see you when we get to Pentney. So then, I've made my way to Pentney. I'm just outside of the churchyard at the moment, slightly north of the village, and it was a nice walk over. It seems like the sun's come out, which is amazing. I must say I've been really happy with the weather today, minus the old little bit of breeze every now and again, but so you get on a nice walk like this, a little bit of variation. But anyway, I'm at Pentney, which actually translated means island, and I was researching this. I thought it's a bit bizarre. Why would it say island in a place like this? Quite clearly low-lying, but the actual altitude around here can give us a little bit of an understanding into this old name. The actual village of Pentney sits on a tiny little hill, which is actually about 10 meters in altitude. And it could suggest that well, when the town was little village was originally named, it may have actually had a tiny little lake running around it, which could have given it the name of Pentney, meaning island. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about our challenge for this year. I know you're probably thinking it's March, it's getting on in the year. We're quite a way away from the summer still, so there is still time before then. But you need not be worried, because our challenge is actually kind of coming to the end of the planning phase. So I won't tell you where it is yet. That's still being kept a little bit quiet, ready for a proper reveal. But we're going to do the challenge in the summer. We're looking at late July, June or early August. The timings haven't quite been fully nailed yet, simply because we've got to work around the weather. The weather is a big factor of success, and also to do with travel as well. So we want to nail that, make sure it's absolutely perfect. We're currently assembling a team. We're hoping Harrison and his partner Misha will be able to come, and also we're assembling some new faces as well, which will be nice to see. So yeah, now on to the final bits of that planning phase, getting the media side of it all sorted, getting the charity sponsorship side of it all sorted, and then we should really be good to hit the ground running. We've got a few training walks that are kind of semi-planned. So we're going to do one around Thetford, and that's going to be our long distance training one, and then we're going to have a 2-day training walk, and that's going to be around Rendlesham and Sutton Hoo. So hopefully get a little bit of camping in there as well. This walk is sort of testing the waters for that. So being new to Norfolk, it's just an opportunity to get out, learn the lay of the land, and sort of keep that competency of walking going, because it's a skill for sure, and it's something you've got to keep up. So yeah, a nice area to keep that up, really. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and start actually rambling. I'm going to head on. We've got a nice little dogleg manoeuvre coming up. We're going to head north, and then just before we hit quite a major road, we're then going to come southwest again into some nice coniferous woodland. So we'll see when we get there. I've not done much research into it, so it should be a bit of a surprise. So let's see what it has in store for us. Guys, I'm at West Bilney Wood now, and I've been walking for nearly 7 hours now. It's been quite a lovely day. Just walking through the wood here. I love a good coniferous wood. It is my absolute favourite. Just the wildlife, the atmosphere is so different. I was just walking there. You would have probably seen it in the video actually, but there were birds of prey hovering around up there. It was incredible. It's really quiet in this wood today. I think I'm the only one here. I've not seen anyone. I've not seen any cars or anything. So it's really quite peaceful. Good opportunity to sit here and talk a little bit about the area. So we're about to head back down to the River Nar, which is where the Nar Valley Way is, which is what we walked earlier to get up to Narborough. It's a pretty nifty little path. It starts up at King's Lynn and it goes all the way through past Castle Acre, which is slightly further east than we were at Narborough today. So we sort of followed it to Narborough, hopped off it, and we're just about to jump on it again. But yeah, quite nice. I actually wanted to talk a little bit about why there haven't been so many videos recently. It's partly because I've been working, but I've also been trying to fix a few issues I've been having with YouTube. It's probably no surprise to you watching this on YouTube that it has algorithms which can be quite liberal in terms of its detection on what is original content and what isn't. Now, I think it's fair to say that when I come out on these walks, you won't find these videos anywhere else. These are my videos, but the main thing that YouTube seems to have trouble with is music. Its algorithms automatically detect pieces of music and then compare it against other pieces of music that are already on the internet. Now, I've always gone to sources of copyright-free music, or music that I can buy the license for. Now, I've used Adobe for this, so that the same software that I use to edit these videos, to do all my photography, all of that I do in-house. And that was going pretty good. So I thought, I want to try a new skill. I went out there, I started remixing my own music and putting it into the videos. And hey presto, it was all going fine. It wasn't until around Christmas time that I started realizing my videos weren't getting as many views, and there were two particular videos that were doing really well, and that was the Countryside Code video from 2021, and it was also the Mersey Coastal Way Walk. And I was trying to work out what was going on here. Now, there was one piece of music that I used in both of those projects, and it turns out that those two pieces of music hadn't been detected by the algorithm. It was the music that I'd used in all of my other videos, those bits that I'd got from Adobe, those bits that I'd made myself, that it had detected. So pretty much every single video had been copyright, not copyright striked, but just copyright detected in it. And I had a look through my analytics, and it turned out that the most new viewers and subscribers that I'd been getting had actually been from people who just had the video recommended to them. So it turns out that YouTube is not recommending these videos to you people because the music that's in it auto detects that it's copyright music, when in fact it isn't. It's either through fair use or it's licensed and paid for. So that's the worst bit. The licensed music from Adobe is stuff that I've paid for, which I'm now suffering from. So what is the way forward for this? Well, there's always the possibility in the future that this will happen again. You can always mitigate it happening, but there's the chance it'll happen again. What I'm doing at the moment is going through all the old videos that have been copyright strike detected, whatever you want to call it, and basically appealing them all one by one. It's a very long process. You have to appeal for every single piece of music that it's decided is copyright, and then you may or may not get that back. So I'm doing that at the moment to try and get all of those videos so pretty much unlocked, so that everyone can see them as much as all the other videos. And what I'm also going to do is ask you really kindly, please share these videos as much as you can. Get out there and send them to your mates. If you see it on like a link on Instagram, please share the link, because unfortunately this is having an effect on people seeing the videos. And clearly there's an appetite out there. There's definite appetite because people love the Mersey video, they love the countryside code video, and they're just not able to see the other videos because it's just not popping up in their recommended or in their feed or anything. So it's a shame, really. I do this so that people can see the videos and enjoy the same countryside that I enjoy walking in. So please do. It would be a massive help if you were able to sort of share these videos and like them, and please comment as well. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, because that kind of feedback, the YouTube algorithms know that kind of interaction is only through people liking the video, and if people like the video, then it will get recommended more. So we've got to do everything we can to try and get around the issues that the algorithm seems to create. And being on YouTube, that's probably no new news to you guys. It's just the way that the platform works. Now, there's always the argument, well, why don't you go over to other platforms? Well, I could do, but it simply doesn't have the reach that YouTube has. And sure, what kind of a difference would it make at the moment with the way that the platform is? True, but I do this so that people can see the videos. And at the moment, the best way to do it is through YouTube, as sort of backwards as that sounds. But anyway, I'm going to get walking again. We're going to head back down to the Nar Valley path, and then we have a little site of historic interest which sort of ties this entire walk up into a nice little bow. So we're going to head down there, have a look at that, and then it's the final stretch back to Marham where we finish this video. So anyway, see you in a bit. So I'm now somewhere very important. I'm at the old Pentney Priory Gatehouse, and it's said to be one of the most exquisite gatehouses in all of Norfolk. Now, the priory was built here in the 1100s, and it was actually knocked down by King Henry VIII, and the last thing standing is the gatehouse. The rubble from the priory was actually sent to local areas to build buildings such as Narborough Hall, which we went to earlier, and quite a lot of the surrounding farms as well. Now, that was done in quite a similar fashion as what was done to St Botolph's Priory in Colchester, which, if you've ever seen it, is quite a marvel to see. It's quite a nice gatehouse, that. A bit out in the middle of nowhere. I think it's someone's private residence now, so I got as close as I could on the public rights of way, and it's quite nice to appreciate from there. So the light's getting low, as you can probably tell. There's some cloud on the horizon, so the sun might just dip below that cloud, which could make conditions quite dark. So I've still got a little bit of a way to walk back to Marham. This may be the last light, but fingers crossed, hoping it isn't. In fact, I can see the village over there. It's not that far away. I'll sit here by the river, have a little bite to eat, and charge some batteries, and then do the final leg in. So anyway, see you in a bit. you're watching this, it can mean only one thing. I ran out of daylight. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you leave a like, that you share it with everyone, and that you also leave a comment. Now, I mentioned it earlier, but commenting is quite important for us. It allows us to gauge whether we're doing something well, whether we're not doing something so good, and then adjust appropriately. That kind of feedback's nice to see, and it keeps these videos as you would like to see them. At the end of the day, I make these videos for you guys, so if you enjoy it, let us know. It's been one hell of a walk today. Beautiful scenery, lovely weather, and some friendly people. So yeah, that about does it for today. I guess I'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please press the like button to let us know how much you enjoyed it. If you'd like to subscribe to watch future videos like this, please press the button down here on the right. If you'd like to watch our previous challenge, please press the playlist up here on the right. And if you'd like to watch our most recent upload, please press the button up here on the left.